Morning everyone, happy Saturday. I hope you've all had a fab week. I can't believe we're coming to the end of the month. I was just lying this morning thinking, right, I'm going to do another video, and I thought, my God, my month of awareness is nearly up already. It's just absolutely flown by. I don't know about you, but it's going fast for me. Anyway, last week I just finished up my diagnosis video, and this week I was thinking, God, what am I going to talk about now? And I was thinking to myself, actually, what I think I'd like to talk about now is what happens after diagnosis. And for me, it's one of those stories is a bit of a roller coaster, I'm not going to lie. And also another sliding doors moment. You know, my whole story is littered with sliding doors moments, and this one truly is, because it's what leads me to my surgery. So I think I'll take you through that journey this morning and just explain a bit about that. So after diagnosis, I was like elated. I was like walking about on cloud nine, because again, you know, for 30 years I'm walking about, I have no idea what is wrong with me, but I know something's wrong, and I keep plugging away and I keep getting up and high and right, I'm doing this and I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to blah 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 blah, and then, you know, the hardship of not being able to sustain it, and that whole roller coaster. Anyway, so once you get diagnosis and you get that confirmation from a mental point of view that everything that you knew and everything that you'd been fighting for is right, and it's a huge validation moment that you're like, thank God it isn't me. I knew it wasn't me, but everyone was telling it was me, and I needed to be better, and I needed to do better, and I needed to lose weight, and all this rhetoric that, well, not rhetoric, actual words that people were saying to me the whole way through my life. So there was a real high, right, and now I had information, and now I was like, right, so it's this and it's that, and I can do this and I can do that, and that was like the single biggest weight off of my shoulders. You know, that the weight I carry, I always say this, the weight I carry isn't just the physical weight, it is the mental weight, and the mental battle of it all, and that was huge for me, absolutely huge. So I would say there was a good 6 months where I went through real empowerment, real like, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to find out as much as I can, I'm going to get help, I'm going to get treatment. And as I said in the last video, I got amazing help and treatment from NHS Lothian and Fiona and Alan at the Lipoedema service. But the reality then starts to dawn. And the reality at that point is that for many women, not just in NHS Lothian and NHS trusts across the UK, there's very little support in terms of medical treatments to help you. So as I said in the last video, I get compression tights, the bad boys as I call them, because they are hard work, really hard work. So I get compression tights, and you know, I grew to love them because I need them and they help me massively. So if you are one of those ladies who's in that love-hate battle with them just now, my only advice is please persevere, because they will help you so much. I know how much you're hating them, I know how much they hurt, I know how uncomfortable they are, I know how hot they are, I know everything that you're going through, I absolutely get it. But my only advice would be please stick in, because at some point a connection will be made and you'll start to see it. You've got to wear them every day to see the difference. And I'm not perfect, right? I've said this before, I go through phases where I really hate wearing them, especially in the summer. Like, I'm actually sweating just now, just wearing them, because it's so friggin' hot, and you're wearing these tights that are hot and they're compressing you, and ugh. Anyway, so please, 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 just stick in with the compression tights. They will help you, they really will. But then the reality is, after compression tights, there's nothing really else that they can do. There's loads of additional kind of treatments and help that you can get, but it's all private help in that sense. So things like manual lymphatic drainage, which I'm going to persevere with more, because it's really, like, for the amount of MLD that you need, it's MLD for short, manual lymphatic drainage. You need to be consistent, so it starts off daily for a period of weeks, then goes to every other day, and then goes to, I think, weekly after that. I'm still doing a bit of research on it, so I might be wrong, but that's what I understand is to happen. And that's a huge financial commitment for people, and not just financial commitment, time commitment to do that. So I've not been able to do that so far, just with work and things that go on in my personal life, but I am going to do it as part of my surgery, and I'll explain that a bit more later. So there's manual lymphatic drainage. Recently I went to a Talk Lipoedema conference, and Karen was there, and she was talking about reflexology and how reflexology, which is kind of like an MLD reflexology, which I'm probably not doing it justice, and Karen, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But it's that's another kind of therapy. So there's other therapies that you can get, but they're, other than wearing compression tights, there's not enough known, and there's not enough help and support available. And this is where I would say the roller coaster began for me, because you go on that high journey of getting your diagnosis, and all of a sudden a whole load of things make sense when they didn't before. But then when you start to become more informed, you start the realization and the dawn of realization of what this means, and the fact that it is a lifelong condition no matter what you do. The fact that the prognosis is it will only get worse. You can do things to control it, so at certain periods in your life you can control it, but ultimately it's a progressive disease, and that's probably the biggest thing, and the biggest fear for me is that this will get worse to the point that, you know, I will become immobile, and that scares the absolute shit out of me, if I'm honest. And that is why, so I went on a real sort of, I don't know how long it was, you know, my friends and family that are watching this might be able to say, but I was in a really low place for a few months, maybe even 6 months, where I just, the heaviness of, now I know what I've got, but there's nothing I can do about it, really weighed heavy on me. And so it was hard, right? And I'm saying this so that you know, or that if you're in that really hard place and you're at your rock bottom place, I'm saying this because I want you to know that you're not alone, that I know exactly how you're feeling, and that you can come out of it, because I came out of it, because it's a mindset thing. It really is a mindset thing. And, you know, it's not going to change. My prognosis isn't going to change. I am going to get worse. I may get to a point where I become immobile, right? And I know all of that. But I'm in a place now, and it's the mindset that, well, if that's going to happen, it's not going to happen for ages, and it's not going to happen on my watch, because I'm going to do my damnedest, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that I don't get to that point, because I don't want to get to that point. And if I get to that point, then I'll find a new mindset at that point, right? I'm not stressing about that. My focus at the moment is I am absolutely going to do everything that I can in my power to stop that happening. And the eureka moment came for me, right? And this is my sliding doors story, right? You know I love a sliding doors story. I went to the Lipoedema UK conference when I was at my lowest. And that conference blew me away in 2 reasons. The first reason was it was the first time en masse that I had met loads of women like me. And they ranged from all kinds of different women. It really, and it opened my eyes. I was like, wow, this affects so many women. And so many women at different stages in their life, young, old, women that were professional, women that weren't, women that were really skinny, women that were carrying a lot of weight. You know, it was just like, as I looked around that room and I saw people at different stages in their journey, I just thought, wow, this is huge. This affects so many people. I mean, I knew 1 in 10, right? I knew it affected 1 in 10 because I'd read that. But see, when you're in a room full of women that have the same condition, and you can see it all around you, and you hear their stories, and you cry with them, and you laugh with them, and you feel their pain. And I've met women at that conference I'm still in touch with now, and you just think, well, it was a huge eureka moment for me from that point of view. But it was a eureka moment for me, and I mean this in absolutely no disrespect, but it gave me an insight into my future and where I could be if I didn't get a hold of it. And I was at my lowest, I was at my heaviest, my lipedema was at its worst. I really was struggling to even walk. And I thought, I can't do this. I've got to find a way. That was a weekend conference, and on the following Wednesday, I decided, well, in the lead up to that Wednesday, I decided I was going to go to Slimming World. I was like, I have to lose weight. I absolutely have to lose weight. I know it's nothing to do with lipedema, and lipedema is not causing my weight, but now that that's really clear in my head, I've got to lose weight. So I left that conference and I thought, but I'd done loads of stuff, loads of diets, and they'd never worked in the past, and there was that battle in my head of, it's not going to work, what am I going to do? And then someone mentioned to me Slimming World, which I'd never done, which like blows my mind in some ways. Why had I never done Slimming World when I'd done every other diet? So I looked it up. I spoke to my mum and my sister, and God love them, they were like, right, we're in it, we're coming with you. And we went on the Wednesday night, and Slimming World changed my life. I met Elaine, my consultant, who, those of you watching this that know Elaine know how I feel about Elaine. Like, she's amazing. She changed my life. That class, going to that class, I first went to one in Oxgangs, and then I went to one in Longstone. And it's been a journey, right? I'm not perfect again. My weight loss goes up and down all the time, but I've lost 6 stone, 5 pounds, 6 stone 5 pounds, which is friggin' amazing. Do you know why it's amazing? Because they tell, all of the rhetoric around the lipedema is, it's really difficult to lose weight and you can't lose weight. And I want to change that. You absolutely can lose weight. You can lose the weight that you're meant to lose. What you can't lose is the lipedema, or certainly not naturally. So that's like one of the biggest things I want to say. You still try and lose weight, because you absolutely can, and you should, because it's better for you and it helps with your condition. So absolutely, but it's not easy, and it's taken me a long time. But every day I do something every day to try and lose weight, and it's a mindset. And now I'm strong. Now I'm feeling really strong about it, and I'm on a mission to keep losing weight. And because ultimately I don't want to become immobile. I really don't. I want to do everything that I want to do, and it's held me back in so many ways my whole life, because of the size of me, because of my physical shape. I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to be as small as I can be, whatever that small is, so that I can do the things that I want to do. And it's the only thing that's ever held me back in my life, and I can't wait to be free of that. Anyway, so that was the Slimming World part. But what also happened to me was, I think I'm getting very animated actually. I just noticed I'm jiggling my phone all over the place, so sorry if you're getting a bit seasick. But then what happened to me was, honest to God, to this day, I can't believe this. So I think it was a Saturday night at the Lipoedema UK conference, I was staying in a hotel because it was in London, and I was sat at dinner, and I was on my own because I didn't know anyone. So I got sat at this table, and there was couples and families all around, right? So I'm the only one sitting alone. I was like, oh, at that point, really, the confidence was so low, right? It doesn't bother me now, but then feeling as low as I did, I was like, oh, this is horrendous. Anyway, this man walked in, and he got shown to the table next to me, also on his own. And I was aware of him there, and I, smiled pleasantry, how are you, that kind of thing. And then we went about eating our meal, and then after the meal, he started to speak to me, and he was a lovely man, so warm, and German, and I started to talk to him, and I don't know why, I do not know why, well I do, I think it's just fate. I started to open up to this man. Now, I'd never opened up. I don't even know this man. And I started to tell him why I was in London, and I was at a Lipoedema conference, and, I was there because I wanted to find out more information, and I needed help, and blah, blah, blah. You won't believe this. He was Professor Smeller, who is the leading plastic surgeon in lipedema, and he was there to go and speak at the conference the next day. And I didn't even know who he was. And so the next part of the conversation is that he went on to tell me about, because I'd never heard of the fact that you could have plastic surgery, he went on to tell me and explain about his surgery, his service, how it helps women, how he'd been doing it for a number of years, blah, blah, blah. And it just resonated with me again, of that sense of hope, that sense of, oh my God, well, how do I do that? And how can I come to Germany? And a million questions went through my head. Anyway, we spoke for quite a while. And then we went our separate ways. And I've never seen him again since. But I think about him all the time. And I think about what he said to me all the time. And it's what spurred on my journey to go for surgery. And it's the only way I can remove the lipedema from my body. Because, as I say, it won't go naturally. So I just had this strong gut feeling of, I've got to go for this. Like, I know that it's not going to cure me. I know that it can still come back. I've still got menopause to go through, which is another puberty big bang. Not puberty big bang, hormone big bang, right? So I know I've still got that to face. And my lipedema likely will get worse at that point. But then I think to myself, well, if I can get rid of what I've got just now, which remember is 5 stone, you know, Mr. Munich has calculated that I have 5 stone of lipedema in my body that doesn't belong there. So I thought about it for a long time, and I went back and forward, and I spoke to Alan, because at this point I had moved from Fiona, so I spoke to Alan and I was like, what's the risks, what's the downside, because with any surgery there's risks. And there are some significant risks to this surgery, but equally, if I can get rid of 5 stone that I would never be able to get rid of any other way, I cannot even imagine how that's going to change my life, both from a physical point of view and from a mental point of view. And even if I go through changes and my condition progresses after surgery, which hopefully it won't, but it might, at least I'll know in my head I did everything I could possibly do, and that I took that chance, and that I took the chance, and that I went for it, and I'm following my gut again. You know me, I love to follow my gut. I'm following my gut that this is the right thing to do. So yeah, that was my sliding doors moment, which got me into thinking about plastic surgery. And I'm on that journey now, and that's absolutely going to be my last video, my final video. It will be my last video in Lipoedema month, but I feel like if you'd love to support me in it, I'd like to keep almost like a video diary of my surgeries, because I was the last phone call on a Friday night before lockdown. I was due for my first surgery. I'll have 3 surgeries. I was due for my first surgery, which would take the lipedema, about 1.5 stone of lipedema. I have 1.5 stone of lipedema in each leg. So I'll have liposuction to remove it from my hip down to my ankle. And it's been postponed, so I'm waiting. I feel like I'm patiently waiting. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I just can't wait to get started. So I don't know, I feel like maybe if it's okay with you, I'll continue that. Well, no, if it's okay with me as well, and I want to keep sharing it. So that's how I started on my surgery journey, and a little bit about treatments and a little bit of the journey along the way. I'll come back on probably before the end of the month just to tell you about my surgery journey, because that's also a roller coaster of emotions of, yes, you can have it, no, you can't have it, yes, you can have it, plastic surgeons telling me that I didn't have lipedema and that I would never get treatment and help, and then meeting Mr. Munich, who is amazing, and I can't wait to share my story with you about him. Anyway, I hope you have a fabulous Saturday. Looks like it's going to be a fairly nice day after last night's storms. So have a great day. Thanks for watching again. Massively, massively, massively appreciate. I mean, you guys have blown me away, honestly, with your texts and your messages this week. It's so, so appreciated. Okay, have a fab day. Bye.